So what would you say are the signs? Are there any signs?
They come in three forms. One's change in talk. So saying things like, I'm worthless, I can't do this anymore, I'm done with it all, things that we've all said or heard today. There's behavior, and that could be any kind of different behavior. Like to me, it's a drastic change in that person's behavior. So if somebody's really introverted, rarely leaves the house, suddenly they're going to parties every night, something may be up, or vice versa. They're a partier and now they're home in their room all the time. Something may be up. So it depends on that person and what different behaviors you've seen. Plus, it can be mood swings. And like we were talking, rage and irritability are a huge part of this that people don't always look to. People think depression is sitting in a corner being sad. It's not. It can be these other things. So like I said, any kind of thing, really different behavior. And it's talk, behavior, and
mood. You got it.
I just lumped it in with behavior. Yeah. So there we go. So those are kind of the warning signs. And then talk about risk, what to do in risk.
They talk about risk factors. Some of that has to do with environment. So when they talk environment, I mean, we could, home life. It could be somebody who recently lost a job or is getting a divorce, so environmental things definitely play a role. That history that I talked about before is considered a risk factor.
What about someone giving away their possessions?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a behavior. Yeah. So those are some of the things like that somebody's really in crisis. The really talking about it, talking about a plan. If you find evidence that they've been looking up ways to find a means. And that's really the key factor when somebody is in crisis is to separate them from a means. So like one of the things AFSP does is we have a program about gun safety now, not taking your guns away, but just, putting a lock in them, because even in that 15 seconds it can take to find the key, put the key in the lock, open it up, the crisis mind may have shifted or somebody might have walked in the room. So it's really key to, just prevent somebody who you think is in trouble from being around dangerous means and separating them from them. And then it's about getting people help. Once you discover somebody is in crisis, say, which can be from, finding them the number for a therapist, taking them to the first appointment to a therapist, or taking them to an emergency room or calling 911 if it's that drastic. It's all important, and it all depends on where the situation is. You can never overreact, I don't think. You can underreact for sure. And then again, the one thing to remember though is if you're there and you do find somebody help or whatever, you're not responsible for keeping them alive forever. Your job was to get them help and get them away from that terrible situation at that moment. But you can't take it on that you're their sole savior.